Before watching the number systems module, I hope that you watched our previous video where we discussed some of our guiding principles that we will utilize across our modules. These principles have been a culmination of over 8 years of trial and error and some of the ideas that most other tuitions lack, and these are the same principles that will make you an excellent math student, not only at matric, but at university. Now, in most of our modules, the way we start off the module is with some of the questions, some of the misconceptions. And the reason we do this is because most students believe that they have a solid understanding with the module. But the reason we do this is to check your understanding. So let's look at some of these questions and let's look at some of the common answers we get when we're given these questions. So looking at these numbers, I want you to tell me if it's a natural, whole number, integer, rational, or irrational number. And if you can answer all of them correctly, that's good. Watch until the end of the video because we have other trick questions after we elaborate on these ideas. Right, so let's look at this. The first case, I'll tell you what's the common misconception. The common misconception is that when they see the fraction bar, they think that the fraction bar means rational numbers and it's a fraction, therefore they call this a rational number, right? In the second question as well, they see the fraction bar, so therefore, and it resembles a fraction, so they call this number rational. Because we taught that as soon as you see a number that can be written as a fraction, it's rational. In the last one, we generally don't get an answer because students do not understand what's the square root of a negative number. But actually, the correct answer for each of these numbers is the following. The first one is actually irrational. I will tell you why as we explain all of these ideas. 10 over 0 is actually undefined, is a number what we call undefined. And the square root of negative 100 is actually what we call non-real numbers, right? Non-real numbers. So let's first discuss each of these numbers and then we can understand, we'll come back to this and we'll understand how we got to these answers, how we arrived at these answers. Okay, so let's go. Real numbers. The real numbers consist of the natural numbers, whole numbers, integers, rational, and irrational. So that's how we define the real numbers. It's basically consists of all of these numbers. Okay, natural numbers are numbers that are one of the following: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way to positive infinity. Now remember, this is the way you see if a number is natural or not. If it does not look like one of the following, remember these ellipses or these dots represent every possible natural number that you could get. And the reason we don't write all of them is because you can see from a pattern, like see 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, that basically gives you more like a pattern of what the other numbers should be. So we'll say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What we call the natural numbers, we call them counting numbers. Because if I asked you how many bottles are there on the table, you will naturally start from 1. So that's the reason why we say we call this set of numbers a natural number. We're going to use this word a lot, set, because set basically means collection of mathematical elements, or in this case, collection of numbers. So when we say a natural set or the natural number set, it basically means it's just a set of natural numbers, right? It's just a collection of the natural numbers. So the natural number set is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all the way to positive infinity. Positive infinity is the largest number that could exist on the positive side. Whole numbers are basically your natural numbers, but we include 0. So whole numbers are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way up to positive infinity. Again, we do not list all of them because it'll be impractical to do so. So we'll just list a few. And once you get a general idea of the pattern, you know what other numbers to expect. Okay? The way we denote natural numbers is with the n. And the way we denote whole numbers is with the n and the small 0 at the bottom. So basically what we're saying is that you have a n, right? And then there's like a small rectangle at the middle, and you have a n with the 0 at the bottom. What this basically means, the whole numbers, it's a natural number starting from 0. That's what that 0 at the bottom means, okay? Now with the integers are basically positive and negative whole numbers, okay? Very simple. So all of these numbers that you see here, just take the negative side of it. So basically it'll be negative infinity, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to positive infinity. Again, we don't list all of them, but you get the general idea. So if I ask you, is like -4 an integer? It is, because it's within the set. Is -1 million an integer? Yes, it is, because it's within the set. Is -1.5 an integer? So -1.5 should be in between -1 and -2. Right, so therefore it is not, because it's not within the set. Again, I told you, in order for you to define whether a number is in a set or not, you need to check whether it fits this description. This is listing every possibility. If it does not lie within that possibility, then it cannot be an integer. Understood? So if I look at a whole number, if I said is 1 billion a whole number, yes it is, it lies somewhere here. It's in the set. But if I told you is half a whole number, half will be in between here, 0 and 1, and we can see that it's not listed in this possibility or in the set. Therefore, half cannot be a whole number. Understood? Right. The way we denote integers is a Z. So it's a Z, and it has like a small rectangle. Right? It's a Z with a rectangle. That's how we denote integers. Now, what is a rational number? So in this topic, I'm going to talk about this topic at a grade 9 level. So what you need to know at a grade 9 level. And then in another video, I will discuss the number system at a grade 10 level, which you guys will do next year.